What's up guys, it's Chadlantis, and I want to give you a quick rundown for what the general strategies and tips and tricks are for the map Firebase Delphi and Trials of Osiris for Destiny. This is actually a map right here on my left, which actually has a lot of callouts. I do want to warn you real quick that this is actually an older map, so the special locations have changed. So these S's indicating special locations are now incorrect. The new special locations, there is one right here still. This is still the right spot, but this one right here on Sea Roof has moved over to this location right here. This one was completely removed. This one was completely removed, and this one was completely removed. But there's now a third special location right here in the basement area. This orange area, they call it Ninja, but it's kind of not commonly known for a lot of these terminologies for locations. So if you call out he's a ninja, people are most likely not going to know what you're talking about. However, horseshoes are very common terminology for this area right here. So you can call out somebody's on A side horseshoe or a C side horseshoe, or just in T side horseshoe, which is at the very end. T ramp is that ramp that goes down out to the outside area, and T is the basically that T-shaped hut that basically leads you in. You can go up the ramp, or you can go on the other side. We're gonna be on top. So if somebody says top T, that means they're standing on top of this T thing, trying to snipe either towards this A building doorway, or they're trying to snipe at the C building. They're standing up top there. Callouts are really useful, and if you run with a regular group of like 2 or 3 guys or girls, obviously, if you run with the same amount of people all the time, then it's pretty good for a lot of maps. It's generally just a good idea to have callouts for a location, so you can immediately provide information to them so they know exactly what you're talking about and know exactly where the threat is located, or where the target or the prey is located, so you can quickly react accordingly. So if you just say, oh, they're over there near where we spawned next to the special box, yeah, it's next to the special box. By the time you figure that out and say it, the person's probably not there anymore, or they might have killed your buddy by that point, or they might probably got away and then went got revives or something. So immediately providing information for exactly where people are located is very good. These are pretty common things like C dome and C roof, because this is C capture point in control, this is A capture point in control over here, and this is B capture point in control. So people say C spawn or C dome is what they usually call this out, and they use A heavy or A room over here in this area at the top. A tunnel is this area right here. A middle or cap room, or they call it cargo. Use one of those terminologies for this area, which is where the capture point is for Trials of Osiris. B capture in Trials of Osiris is typically referred to as command room, so you can use command room instead of B cap. Basement is that area underground, and that has that tunnel leads to middle from the low point, and actually has that new special location there. I never really say ninja, but I do say basement. They're in basement, or they're in special room as well as say. C heavy is commonly used. Obviously C ramp and A ramp for these type of callouts. It's a little lewd, but most sweaty people call these over here tits because they look like breasts, but you can also call them A domes. You can call them that as well. I heard somebody call it battery before because it looks like a 9-volt batteries or whatever that has like the 2 like sticking out at the end pieces, and it's like a block. So somebody calls this battery, so maybe you can call it battery if you don't want to call them tits, or you can just call them A domes or A desert. So if you hear one of those terminologies, you know what that means. So that's good to know. So if people call out those like shot calls, then you know exactly what they're talking about. Now what will typically happen is if you spawn outside, if you want to be camping, then you can just head glitch and camp on the sea dome. Do not ever advise camping. I don't think camping, especially not camping in spawn, is ever a good idea. Any like really good team will eventually find a way of beating you and progressing on you, and eventually you're going to not be able to watch that one angle that they push on you on, and they're going to kill you. So I'd never suggest camping. However, what you can look out for other people doing is if they spawn outside, they'll typically camp sea dome and just use head glitches. They also can camp T ramp and just like run straight over there, camp there, and try to use head glitches there. And they might run over a C heavy area and camp in that room. I've never really seen a team very successfully pull off either of those strategies, because what you can do to counter them is you can come out the window here from horseshoe, or come low under horseshoe. There's 2 entrances you can come through. Also you can come through C ramp, that's a 3rd entrance. Also you can come from above T ramp, that's a 4th entrance, and you can go from lower T ramp, that's a 5th entrance. So there's 5 entrances you can come through. Technically you can kind of watch all the 3 entrances from C dome. However, because of the fact that you have to kind of hard scope to quickly get an edge on people, if they're not hard scoping, they typically won't be able to shoot you very fast. And if they are hard scoping each of the locations they're looking at, then there'll be probably 2 locations that you will not be seen at all because they're not even paying attention to the radar because they're in hard scope. Try to figure out where they're looking and just go for one angle. Typically pressuring on them on different angles is typically a good idea, especially if you have supers. If you want to, if you really don't feel like pushing on them, or if you're not being very successful in doing so, you can wait around horseshoe, T-ramp, and C-heavy areas. You try like wait for them to come out towards you, because they eventually will need to make it over the middle or cargo location, which is where the capture point is. The capture point's right here where I'm circling. So they eventually need to come to you. So go ahead and just wait it out. I mean, if they really want to. And as I explained in my last vlog, whenever somebody's progressing towards you, you typically have an edge because of the fact that you can be ready and prepared for them coming at you on your radar. Not to say you have an edge if you camp, but if the other team progresses towards you, typically you'll have an edge because you can gun them down from afar, pick your targets because typically they won't be working as a team, and shoot them down. Even if they are working as a team, you can combo nade them. You can like shoot them down as team firing on them. If you have supers, you can like smash 2 or 3 people on other teams, so like that. So if a team is camping and then pushes on you, either they'll be separated so you can pick a target and then push towards them and just kill them out and then go as a team and unit, work as a unit, kill the other players, or you'll be able to just wombo combo and just lay in with your nades on the people progressing towards you. So go ahead and don't be too aggressive. Try to find an opportunity to push on them and seek dome. If it's not a good opportunity and not being successful, then just chill out. You have control of the capture point. They have to come to you. You have an advantage. Now if they spawn inside and people camp, they'll typically camp right inside A heavy, or they'll push straight to middle, because most people agree that inside has an advantage due to the fact that you can get to the cap point almost immediately. So you have a huge advantage over just the long-term goal of each round of trials is the capture point. You can control the pacing of the match because you control the in-game goal. So you can either shoot at people coming towards you trying to gain control of the map, or you can dictate where you're going to go and be aggressive on the other team. So a lot of people say inside spawn is a lot better in this map than other spawns. And by other spawn, I mean just outside for trials purposes. So go ahead and use that on your advantage. As soon as you spawn, move straight into middle and go ahead and take control of the capture zone area. You can also go in command room, which is my personal favorite. And I feel when I play this map on trials, I feel like whatever team controls command room, which is the B cap for control point, typically controls and dictates the pacing of the match. And I think being able to dictate the pacing of the match is a huge advantage because you always are the one who says, this is where we're going to fight. This is when we're going to fight. And it should always be when you have an advantage, when like 2 of your teammates are going to fight 1 person on their team or something like that. So I think taking control of command room and or taking control of middle is a very good idea on this map, and I'd strongly recommend it. Most people where they die will be inside the horseshoe area or in command room. This whole like circular-esque kind of area, it's kind of like a O there. That is basically where everybody dies in this map. They'll just jump in from outside into this window and then either try a hard scope in this angle into the B cap area or command room, or they'll try to push from this outside window around the horseshoe to this area right here where they can also hard scope towards this door. If you spawn at A, you can probably get into B cap before they can get into this location if you're faster than they are. If they're running like high agility and blink and stuff like that, and you're just kind of like a warlock with low agility, you likely will get to this doorway about the same time that they get to this corner to be able to hard scope each other. So be wary of that. When you're going to the both ends of the horseshoe, all long corners will be very hard scopeable, meaning people will typically be sitting there with snipers ready to shoot you in the face. So be careful for that. Another thing about this map is there's a lot of tight areas and a lot of corridors, so shotguns thrive a lot where they can go up and just hard rush around the corner and just pressure you. That's what I used to do when I play a Sunsinger. I'd use Doctrine of Passing, Doctrine of Osiris, Doctrine of Passing, and I use Firebolts, and I would just come through the corners and just jump up in the air, throw a Firebolt, and then lay it on them, and then just shoot them with the Doctrine of Passing a bunch. And that was obviously pre-Sunsinger nerfs. It's nerfed now, but still that same idea is what a lot of people do nowadays. A lot of people enter from insides with shotguns to try to shoot you out. And overall, no matter what the strategy people use, typically as long as you stick with the team, know exactly which direction the enemy's coming, lay in grenades to try to stop them in their tracks and from progressing on you. And if they try to push through your nades, they'll typically be hit and weak, and you can just use your primary weapons typically and just shoot them down. You shouldn't really need your special weapons very often when it has to do with fighting off a team that is very aggressive with shotguns in this map. You should be able to just know they're coming in this direction down this A side hallway of horseshoe. You can throw in grenades and then reroute backwards down the hallway for C side horseshoe and get into your command room. And if they try chasing you around the corner, you'll just shoot them down with your primaries when they're trying to shotgun rush you. Pretty easy. Or if they're using sniper rifles, you can just wait with grenades, use like lightning grenades, trip mines, etc., swarm grenades, and be able to just throw your grenades into, like, if they're camping in B command room, you just throw your grenades in there to try to clear them out and flush them out, and then take control of the command room and try to shoot them out in their retreat. That's a pretty good option. Regarding heavy ammo rounds, typically people will just sit there and try to camp on heavy, especially A side. I've noticed C side people will rush for heavy a lot more often than A side do, which is weird to me because I typically feel like I have an advantage when I'm on A side rushing towards the C side heavy. I typically am a player who doesn't like to play out heavy rounds because rockets are really wonky, and especially with the truth being out there, even the worst of players can easily get kills with the truth as a rocket launcher and any other rule like proximity detonation rocket launcher with grenades and horseshoes. So I really don't like playing out heavy rounds because a lot of bad players have huge advantages over you. So because of that, I like to, on C spawn, I push around T ramp outside and into the A ramp area, and I'll try to snipe into A heavy. Every time I push into horseshoe and go around to this entrance on A entrance of horseshoe, every time I do that, I typically die or have a very distinct disadvantage at the very least. So it's not very successful. Pushing from outside and trying to snipe in from this doorway right here is very useful. Also pushing straight into command room, jumping into middle and opening up that big door to lay in grenades and stuff like that, if you're fast enough, is a very useful tactic as well if you're pushing from C side. Now, if you're pushing from A side, which is inside, towards the C heavy, then I pretty much always will just go straight through the big door into cargo or middle room, and then I'll go straight up to this other big door and just try like laying grenades, use that ramp as a head glitch for hard scoping on the enemy teams, and just shoot them down when they try to like run for the heavy ammo, which is typically right next to a box. So I'll like throw grenades next to that box or just hard scope the left side of that box or whatever. A lot of people like to be able to hard scope this ramp on C ramp right here, trying to stop people from coming into the door. But there's only one specific spot that can be hard scoping there. So once you try that out a few times, you'll get used to that angle, and you can be anywhere in this ramp area or behind boxes or whatever and get an angle on them when they can only be in one spot and they have to find you. So even an edge because you know where they are, where they don't know where you are specifically, that gives you a timing edge. A lot of other times when I push through A heavy to C heavy on the heavy round, I'll go into middle and jump up into that B window. From B window, some people like from C spawn like to push through horseshoe, trying to rush to that A heavy, and when they rush towards the command room, you'll be able to just gun them down from that window because typically they're not expecting you to be standing there. So that's a really big key. You can use that to your advantage. Now, outside heavy round, outside of dealing with shotgun rushers, outside with hard scopers in these certain specific areas, typically down corners, I would like to advise you to watch out for strikers. Striker subclass, in my opinion, has the biggest edge on this map because a lot of these hallways, the striker lightning grenade covers nearly half the distance of every hallway, and the cone and width of the striker like lightning grenade is basically the entire width of each hallway as well. So those are very potent grenades. They're already what I consider to be the best grenades in the game, and this map really distinguishes how good those grenades are. It's really ridiculous. Plus, with a lot of the tight corridors and tight corners that this map has, it's very easy to get in the grill of the enemy team and smash them right down. Not going to be very easy for the other team to just keep distance and like hold you off, especially in these hallways and command room. It's very easy to kill them with strikers. So in my opinion, striker titans might be the best subclass, not only in general in my opinion right now, but also definitely for this map specifically. Very easy to juggernaut run through hallways, easy to land your lightning grenades. It's easy to shoulder charge on people because you can proc it through the corners. It's also very easy to get your supers off on people. Plus, having aerial superiority when coming around these corners, people typically don't look up whenever they come around these corners. So if you're rushing from A inside over to this corner right here, people try to like post up and use snipers. If you jump in the air and like land a grenade on them or like a flashbang, it's very easy to get on their melee range area or at least get an advantage on people with your grenades to open it up and then drop down and shoot them. It's very risky though, because if they know that you're coming expecting you in the air, you'll be very vulnerable and likely will die if they back up and just shoot you down from the air. But that's a strategy that you can probably try out, but be warned, is very risky. However, it can be really good for pub stomping bad teams. Same thing for if A heavy guys are coming around the corner and you're on C spawn and you're jumping in the window, and you just jump in the air and then you run around the corner and you're just chilling in the air with a shotgun, you're waiting for them to come around the corner. They're not typically looking upwards in those hallways. They're looking down the hallways for like snipe lines and stuff, so you can just drop on them and shoot them. A lot of people fall for it, which is really crazy. Most good teams will not, but a lot of bad teams will fall for it, so you can easily get past those first few games of your trials card by using that kind of strategy. Hopefully this video helped you get a little bit better at this map and gave you some more insight for what to look out for. Pretty much everybody will die in horseshoe and command room. Be very cautious of grenades, especially lightning grenades, and be very cautious of shotgun rushers because that's very prominent in this map. Snipers are still potent as always because Destiny sniping is pretty easy and obviously is a one-hit one kill and can instantly kill people from very long ranges. to always be very mindful of that, especially when people camp out in Sea Dome. You have a really crazy hard scope, so I would not push on them unless you know exactly what you're doing, unless you're really coordinated with your team. But otherwise, be sure to take command of command room and also take command of cargo, aka middle room. If you have the inside spawn, rejoice. If you have the outside spawn, try to make your way in there. Lead in with grenades. Again, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helped you at least some amount. Be sure to leave a comment or reach out to me on Twitter or something like that if you have any comments or questions or concerns or praises regarding this video. Let me know. I'll be happy to talk to you about it. And if you have any questions regarding this map, obviously let me know. I'll be happy to explain them and answer them for you. Be sure to check out my live stream, twitch.tv/Chadlantis, where I do trials carries every single weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Mondays. Sundays are virgin runs with viewers, and Fridays, Saturdays, and Mondays are raffles with viewers. I primarily do them on PS4, and I'm always willing to answer any questions anybody may have regarding the current trials maps or anything Destiny related or anything related, really. But be sure to subscribe to this channel if you like it. Like this video if you liked it. It would mean a lot to me. And until next time, citizens, thank you so much for being you, and thank you as always for watching.